The God we serve is a God of covenant. He is a God that operates under covenant.
Yes, sir.
Anytime you see the move of God anywhere, it is because there was covenant that was enacted in that place. The prophetic operates under covenant. And if you are in a prophetic church and you must be blessed, you must understand the place of sacrifice and covenant. Because you see, if you study the Bible carefully, especially for the book of Genesis, the Bible says when God destroyed the earth with water, he put a rainbow in the sky, and he said, this is the covenant between myself and the earth, that I will not use water to destroy the earth again. That was the covenant that God himself established with the earth. Anytime it's raining and there is thunder and there are things, lightning and everything, God remembers
His covenant.
The covenant, which is the rainbow.
Yes.
If you are a Christian and you are in a prophetic church and there is nothing God can use to remember you, it is a very big problem. In Isaiah chapter 38, Isaiah 38, quickly. In those days, Hezekiah was sick and near death, and Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos, went to him and said to him, thou saith the Lord, set your house in order, for you shall die and not live. The next verse quickly. Then Hezekiah turned his face towards the wall and prayed to the Lord. The next verse. And he said, remember now, O Lord, I pray thee, I pray, how I have walked before you in truth and with a loyal heart, and have done what is good in your sight. And Hezekiah wept bitterly. The next verse. And the word of the Lord came to Isaiah, saying, go and tell Hezekiah, thou sayest the Lord, the God of David your father, I have heard your prayer. I have seen your tears. Surely I will add to your days 15 years. If there was no covenant, the man would die in caricature. If there was no covenant, he would die a useless death. That is why when a prophet gives you a negative prophecy, if you are operating on a covenant, that prophecy will not work over your life. A prophet can tell you are going to have accident, but right after the prophetic meeting, you must go back to your covenant. A man that have covenant with God cannot die in caricature. You cannot die.
Wonderful.
Because God respects covenant. God is a covenant respecter. Anytime God wants to do something, he looks at covenant. The Bible said when Abraham chased Hagar out of his house with Ishmael, the Bible said Hagar was crying in the desert, and God heard the voice of Ishmael. God did not hear the voice of Hagar because Ishmael was a covenant child.
My God.
God operates with covenant. Listen to me, don't be myopic. You need to have that understanding that the way God operates, God does not operate in the philosophy of man. God operates with principles. God operates with covenant. God operates with sacrifice. Listen, everywhere there is a lifting of sacrifice, there a covenant is established. What is? Abraham at the age of 45, God called Abraham from his father's house. And God told Abraham, move from your father's house to the land which I will show you. He has not shown him the land. He said, move from your father's house. And he said, move, starting from where you are standing. I will show you. He did not show him. Abraham went on a journey. He was going. He got to a place. And God said, stop. When God told him stop, Abraham built a covenant because he understands. The Bible says he built an altar and sacrificed a ram unto God. And he said, Lord, this is my thanksgiving offering unto you. Abraham was a man that understands covenant. That is why in the time of Abraham, there was nobody like Abraham. He was a man of faith. In fact, until our time, we call Abraham father of faith. Not because he was a father figure, because what he did was not what he's supposed to do as a father. The Abraham went into Hagar as a maid and slept with Hagar and brought a child. If it was a pastor in our time today, we will crucify him. But when God is dealing with a man, he looks at the covenant. He does not look at the man. God looks at the covenant. God was not looking at Abraham. He was looking at the covenant. I have a covenant with him. He was in somewhere when I told him that he should move. So God is a God that respects covenant. If you are in a prophetic church and you have not even a chair in your name and you sit in that church, I tell you, people will come from abroad and they'll come and take the blessing and they will go. And you that you are in the church auditorium, you keep asking yourself a question: what have I done? One time a member in my church came to me and said, Pastor, before my own face, you prayed for 3 people that even doctor told them they cannot give birth and they gave birth. What happened to me? Am I not part of your children? And those people that mostly come to take the miracles are people from outside. They don't attend our church. They just visit the church. When they come, pray for them, it is well with them. But then people who are the members, do you know what happened? When they come as strangers, they come with seed. Yes. And in the prophetic, anything that makes the prophet happy, that is why the Bible says, feed the prophet, and after they are satisfied, they will prophesy. There is a way you treat the prophet that his word will not fall to the ground. I told my people that when prophets are hungry, they prophesy damnation. When there is no money in the pocket of the prophet, he prophesied damnation. How does he prophesy damnation? Because when he was looking at the money he wants to take from you, he knows that if he tells you you travel abroad, you will not give him money. So he will tell you he has seen a casket. As for the casket, people are not afraid of God, but they are afraid of death. Yes. God operated covenant. What covenant do you have with God? What do you have in your life that today, if the spirit of death has been sent into your life, you can bargain with God and tell God, God, have you forgotten? Hezekiah turned to the wall and he said, God, have you forgotten? Have you forgotten? What have you done for God? How many souls have you won? When was the last time you sacrificed yourself to say, I am going to win 100 souls to this, and this will be a covenant between me and my God, that these 100 souls, as soon as I am done with the 100 souls, Lord, anytime I call upon you, I will call upon the name of the souls I brought to this place. I will call upon the number of souls I brought to this place. And I tell you, there is nobody who tell God, this is my part of the agreement, and this is your part of the agreement, that God disappointed people. God is a God that wanted to enter into agreement. He had been in agreement. That is what the Bible said. God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, they were in agreement. They are men of agreement. They were covenant men. God is a covenant man. If there is no covenant, there is no agreement. When we are talking about covenant, that is why when Hannah got to the temple, even Eli the prophet could not understand, interpret what was happening at the moment. There is a way that you can be in the congregation as a member, yet your power, your authority as a member is higher than even the pastor who is leading you, because you are operating under covenant. Somebody was giving prophecy and he said, no, it is not me. I cannot die. Me, I know what I do in my sleep. I cannot die. And you see, sometimes it's not like you are stubborn, but you know yourself. When men operate under covenant, they are more than conquerors. When you operate under covenant, nothing can take your life. How can you write exam and fail when you operate under covenant? That before you began the secondary school, you have already sowed a seed and said, God, this is my chair in the house of God. Give me a chair in the education center. There is no way God is going to fail you. There is no way. There is no way. I tell people that the prophetic operates under principles. If you don't understand principles, you think God is not powerful. But God is very powerful. Unless you don't understand principles. Very powerful God. Very powerful. Very powerful. Many of you seated here, there is nothing backing you. In this world, if nothing is backing you, you will die. I tell you, everybody has something backing them. Oh, yes. If God is not backing you, then the devil must back you. Oh, yes. Because you can't be neutral. When you are neutral, they will neutralize you and kill you. You need to have something backing you. That is why if you study the Old Testament, the people in the Old Testament, you will discover that everybody called on God, they raise altars to God because God must constantly be with them. Moses said to God that God, we are not going any further until you come with us. There must be a dimension of the presence of God that follows you when you go somewhere. I'm telling you. Hezekiah turned to the wall and he said, God, have you forgotten? I want to ask you a question and think about it from now to tomorrow morning. What have you done for God? What have you done for him? That today, when you enter into trouble, you can say, God, have you forgotten? What have you done for him? I have a policy in my church. I said to my church, I'm not going to do fundraising. I am going to be the one to build the house of God and dedicate it for my members to worship inside. And I've been doing it from day one. All the branches are open. I supply everything myself, pulpit, everything. Especially pulpit. I don't want anybody to buy the pulpit. It is my responsibility. It is my responsibility. The church, the pastors will sit on it. I said, I will not want any member to buy it. It is my responsibility. Not because I don't want them to be blessed, but they have not seen it the way I am seeing it. Because I see it as a covenant between myself and God. What do you have? What have you done? What step have you taken that today God can hold on to what you have done and say no? If you open your mouth now, for God to speak to a prophet and say, go and tell Hezekiah that he should put his house in order for he's about to die. And then me, even if it is me that God sent me, I will tell you I will not go again. Because I will look like a liar before the person. Oh yes. The same prophet God said, go and tell him he's going to die. The prophet was on his way going home. He did not even get home. And God called him and said, hey, Isaiah, where are you going? Go back. Go and tell him that I've heard his prayers. So imagine if he has not prayed, if he has no covenant backing him, he would have died. I pray for one prayer for you, that may God establish covenant upon your life. That everywhere you will enter, it no matter the things they will do against you, it will not stand. I make a prophetic decree over your life. If I be a prophet of God by the mandate upon my life, any unnecessary covenant that you have entered, right now I break you out and I establish you on the altar of the Most High. In the name of Jesus. See that. What is? There is a realm you get to in the place of covenant, in the place of sacrifice. That some things are no more moving you. I'm telling you. When somebody sees you and threatens you, it doesn't move you anymore. No. Because you know that what is backing you. When we were driving on the road, there was a motor guy that just crossed us. I didn't mind him. He let it throw rubbish. I looked at him. I said, leave him. I was speaking to my spirit that leave him. Because when my spirit is angry and I base on covenant, I will destroy him. You see, don't fight people who have covenant with God. Don't fight them. It will not work. Now look at this. Miriam and Aaron went into a meeting against Moses. But they have forgotten that Moses was a covenant man. Moses has exalted altars to God. He did a lot of sacrifices to God that they have no idea of. They thought because they can also prophesy. They thought they are also prophets and prophetess. So they are equal with Moses. And they went to meet him and they said, I think in Numbers chapter 12, Numbers chapter 2. And God gave Moses what he said: don't marry in the land of Ethiopia. And Moses wanted to marry a Cushite woman. And Miriam and Aaron got angry and they were talking about Moses. And God said, God appeared in a pillar of cloud in the church. And he called Miriam. And he said, Miriam, when I speak to my servant the prophets, I speak to them in dreams and in visions. But with my servant Moses, I speak to him face to face. Covenant differs. The deeper your sacrifice, the higher you are to God. I'm telling you. The deeper your sacrifice, the higher you are to God. God, that is why in Ghana today, you will see a lot of prophets prophesy. And some will say Baumia will win the election. And some will say Mahama will win the election. But at the end of the day, it is not the one whose prophecy comes to pass that is more powerful, but it is rather the one who is operating under higher covenant that has the right information. Because God can say Baumia will win, and then when the man who has a higher covenant now go to his covenant arena and says, God, I want Muhammad to win, God changes his mind. You were then you made a statement. He said, God showed me all the qualities of Muhammad. In other words, God did not tell me that Muhammad would win the election. He was plain on it. But he gave Muhammad a day to call him. When people in the world today, when it's time for election, everybody is waiting for you and to talk. Why? Covenant. Everybody is waiting for you to talk. When you operate at the higher covenant, you know, I get my prophecies about, I think 2 years or 3 years towards the election, that God said Muhammad is coming back to power. Now when I gave that prophetic word, getting to the last year, December, where the election, November, December, I was shaking. Because the way Angel was going about the thing, I said, God, I know this one have a higher authority than me. But the way he's going over the issue, I'm getting worried. Should I go and change my mouth or delete the information on the internet? And God said no. It got to a time everybody was saying, Baumia will win. So I was like, so is it the wrong thing that I heard? And God said no. The tables will turn. Those people will now visit their covenant. God respects covenant. I'm telling you, God is a God that respects covenant. If you have not established any covenant in this church, please forget. No matter how the prophet stands here to shout, and he doesn't tell you to buy wall clock and bring it. He doesn't tell you to buy chair and bring it. He doesn't tell you to go and buy pulpit. He doesn't tell you to buy speaker and bring it. He doesn't tell you to buy anything. And he's using his own money to do it. When he's getting blessed, please don't envy him, because you have allowed that. One of my children came to me and said, Papa, we don't understand. You are not doing any work, but the way you are getting money, we don't understand. I said, okay. Then I called him. I said, do you want to know? He said, yes. I said, since you came to this church and you joined this church, almost 10 years now, what have you brought to the church? He stood and looked at my face. I said, check all the things here. Who bought them? Then he said, and I said, this is called covenant. Before I closed my eyes and opened, he left my office. The next day, I saw carpet all over the church. As I speak to you now, he was there when a manager of the school called him that he should come and manage the school. For just 3 days after he did that, he's in the school now. He's in the school. He said, I don't know. So he said, this simple principle, Pastor, why are you not teaching that? Why are you not telling us? I said, I've been preaching every day about covenant. Just that you don't hear what I'm saying. Because you see, anytime you start preaching messages and people think you want their money, people think you want something from them. If you buy a chair and bring it to the church, what money are you giving to the pastor? So I don't worry myself, say we are raising funds that we are going to buy a chair. We are going to buy. No. As you see that they are doing church building, how many cement can you give? Don't let the pastor ask you before you give. Because when they ask and you give, it's not a covenant. Covenant is something, an agreement between you and your God. Before you bring the covenant, you have already spoken to God and said, God, this is what I'm going to do for you. Do this for me too. That is what is called covenant. How do you establish covenant when there's no agreement? So Pastor Sanye said, we are doing church projects. If you can give us 3 bars of cement, 4 bars of cement, come forward. Then you walk forward like zombie. Then on Sunday you brought it. That one he said it's called gift. You gift the church. So the blessing that comes by giving will come to you. There's more blessing in giving than receiving. So you get more blessing. That blessing sometimes cannot be money, it can be good health. So maybe what you are expecting is not what God is giving to you as blessing. But in covenant, you have an agreement, you have a say. Before you bring the 3 bags of cement, you have already spoken to God that as I'm bringing 3 bags of cement, Lord, I need 3 cars within 3 years. It's a covenant. That one is covenant, it's agreement. So God will agree once you bring it. One time, I'll say this thing that I close because of time. I want us to come tomorrow early. Now, I was praying for God to give me a car. Seriously praying for God to give me a car. God gave me some missionaries, powerful missionaries, and they were around me. They called me from America and they told me that they are going to buy me a vehicle. So I was very happy. They said a vehicle to start working so that I can get something for myself. I was very happy. So I was waiting for that. I said, when are you coming? 3 days later, 4 days later, I will test them. I said, when are you coming? They said, oh, you are checking on the day. I keep testing them to find out they told me they are going to come in August. So I was very happy. August, I've already told my wife and everybody that I'm getting a new car, like prophecy, the way of prophecy. That thou sayest the Lord, in August, my car is coming. Prophesied that. And then they came. When they came, they took me straight to Aboboya shop and they bought Aboboya for me. So my wife called me and said, have they come? I said, yes, they came. Have they bought the car? I said, there's asking me to me. Where fear they are. So I drove the Aboboya with anger and with pain in my heart. And I went to park it in my house. My brother said, is that the car? I said, don't provoke me. Because where my heart is going, don't bring that car matter. Because I've already prophesied, because I know it will happen. That is when I know that it is not by power, it is not by man, it is by his spirit. By strength shall no man prevail. So we don't prophesy what we see with our eyes. We prophesy by sight. What is dropped inside our spirit is what we prophesy with, because what you promise me cannot be prophecy. Never. So I packed the motor. I left to a program in Accra. I got angry. When I went to the program in Accra, thieves came to steal the motor. When I came back, after I did a powerful program and souls were saved. In fact, that program, I put myself in the evangelism team. We went to 18 Junction towards Numwakesh there, and we distributed posters and handbills. Did the evangelism, massive program, and we brought the people to the church. I prophesied very well. We got home and the motorbike was not there. We asked everybody, they said they didn't see it. They woke up in the morning, somebody came to carry it away. I went to the room and said, God, is it because I did not appreciate the motto enough? That is why, and God was silent. 3 months later, I forget about the motor. I was thanking God. And when I went to bed, God showed me when they parked the motor in Ashana. From Adam, they went to Ashana. And I went there. I called one of my boys, called two policemen. Because when God says something to me, he doesn't lie. We went there and the motor was parked there. We arrested them. We took them to police station. When we got to the police station, they said, man of God, we know you are a man of God. I said, you know you are a man of God, you to say for me. They said, you mention anything, we will do it for you so that you take the case out of police station. I watched around and I said, no, I need land. I need land. I'm going to tell them I need land for church building. Because if I get land, when I mentioned the land and I got to my prayer room, God said, you want land? Okay, go and take land. So to cut the whole story short, they brought my motorbike back and brought me a V6 VW. And that is my first car. That car is my first car. That is my first car. I'm telling you. When you operate under covenant, I tell you, what the devil meant for evil will turn for your good. Because you are operating under, be on your feet.